talking about making passive income online via selling digital products. I'm actually going to be giving you some no-nos, some things to keep in mind that will stall your sales of digital products if you are not careful. So, if you have digital products and you're not currently making daily sales, this is going to help you. But also, if you have not made any digital products yet and you're thinking about getting into selling digital products online, this is going to help you. Okay. Now, I am talking about digital products from the perspective of you actually taking some experience of your life and putting that into an ebook or an online course or something of that sort, and then selling that and talking about just your life experience. Okay. So we're talking about really infusing the things that you've learned that you had to like learn on your own, learn the hard way, things you didn't learn in a book, into something that you can sell to other people. Okay. So there are a couple of things you want to be aware of if you want your digital product to make sales daily. Okay. And I'm live shooting from the bed because your girl is tired, but I needed to do this and I needed to get this off of my head before I went to sleep. So, number one is lack of product market fit. So, the number one reason most digital products do not sell or do not sell as much as you would think they would is because you didn't actually validate the idea. This is where the idea of pre sales comes from. If you have not pre sold, I would not go create it. And when I say pre sale, I mean you come up with the topic and what's going to be on the inside of the digital product and the formatting of it. So you need to decide, is this going to be an ebook? Is it going to be a course? Is it going to be a masterclass? Is it going to be a journal, a guide? Is it going to be a 3-day challenge? Decide the formatting of it, the title of it, and what's going to be on the inside. And then you need to put a price on it and you need to open it up either for pre sales or you need to open it up for a wait list. So you need to actually put that idea out there on your social media platform or wherever you're going to be talking about this and say, hey, I have this digital product that's coming out. It's not going to be free, but if you're interested, this is what I'm going to cover inside this product. DM me and I'll add your name to the wait list. And that's literally the easiest way to do it so that you don't have to go set up a whole system that you may not understand how to work yet. Right. So comment below or send me a direct message. I'll add your name to the wait list. You literally can get a piece of paper and just write down the person's name on social media. And or if you know how to create a payment link or you have something like Gumroad or Stan or some type of a checkout system like Stripe, PayPal, you can go ahead and create a link with the price and you can go ahead and start selling it, so that you know people actually want it. Because if nobody actually buys it, or nobody actually raises their hand and says, hey, I'm interested in the digital product that you were talking about, then you're not going to make any money. Okay. You have to validate the idea. You have to validate that with paid interest. You have to actually say, this is going to be something that I'm putting together. It is paid. If you're interested, let me know. Okay. So validate that idea. Another one of the mistakes that I see in that same area of like lack of product market fit is if it solves a weak problem. Okay. It solves a weak problem. You have to make sure that whatever your digital product, whatever problem it's solving, is an intense enough problem for someone to actually want to buy a solution. Okay. So, for example, if your product is, um, I'm going to teach you how to jump rope in 5 days. Like you may or may not get any product sales from I'm going to teach you how to jump rope in 5 days. But if the digital product is I'm going to help you, I'm going to teach you how to jump rope like an Olympian in 5 days, then you may get some digital product sales. Or I'm going to teach you how to um jump double dutch so good you'll impress your friends who know how to jump double dutch. Like the product needs to solve a strong problem, not a weak problem, a problem that is painful enough for people to actually want to buy a solution, or for them to actually want to use your digital product. Because that's the thing too, you don't just want to sell digital products because you want people to buy from you. You want people to actually buy your digital products and actually use your digital product. Because guess what, you're not going to have any reviews and you're not going to have any social proof if people are not actually using your digital product. So it's not just making the sales, it's also about making sure that you're attracting people who are actually going to use it so you can have reviews and social proof and all these other kind of things that are going to help you get more sales later on down the line. So that first thing is lack of product market fit. Make sure people want this digital product before you go creating it. Okay, before you go creating it. Number two, the second thing you need to know if you want to make digital product sales every single day online, you have to consistently market. Okay. And I understand everybody can't post every single day, depending on what your schedule is like, your family life, your workload, all that other kind of stuff. If you cannot post every single day, that's fine. Your focus needs to be I need to post enough, like I need to have enough content on my social media channels so that people know that I'm an expert in this area and that I have this digital product. And then for the days where you're not posting, and honestly, just in the background, you just run ads. Like just run low cost ads that bring you traffic to your page. That is going to help pick up the slack from you not being able to post every single day if you can't post every single day. Or you can batch create. I batch created for a long time. I have two kids. I have a 3 year old and I have a 5 year old, and it was not always a scenario where I could just get on live stream because I want to. Like I can get on live stream right now. It took a long time to get here. So in that transition period where I couldn't just hop on live stream, what did I do? I would take one day a week. I would go get my makeup done for like almost a year straight. I did this one day a week. I dropped them off at school. I'd go straight to get my makeup done, and then I would create content for 4 or 5 hours. And that was my Friday, every single Friday for almost an entire year. I was batch creating. And that year, I grew like a little over 20,000 followers. I gained 20,000 followers on Instagram that year. Okay. Now I'm at like 53,000 or something like that. But that was a really big growth jump for me because I was so consistent with batch creating because I knew I couldn't just stop what I was doing at any time and just post. I had to actually plan. But you have to show up consistently and you have to be driving traffic. And that can be a balance in between creating organic content and running ads. Now, what I would say is I do not recommend running ads until you have some type of a funnel set up, like an email marketing system or a text message marketing system. And I would not run ads if you don't have at least 15 to 20 videos on your page. If we're talking about Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, at least 15 to 20 videos. If we're talking about YouTube, I would say at least 10 to 15 videos, like long form videos, okay? Because the system has to have enough content to understand who your ideal client is and who is the ideal viewer for your channel or who is the ideal viewer for your page. And so the more content you have on your page and the more consistent and aligned that content is as far as the messaging, the keywords, the captions, then your ads are going to run better. It's not going to cost you as much it costs you more to run ads when the system doesn't know who you're talking to. So like on my Instagram, I talk about business, I talk about productivity, and I talk about healthy lifestyle consistently. Those three topics every single post consistently. I do not talk about, like, for example, I do not talk about negotiating your salary. I do not talk about international travel. I do not talk about restaurant reviews. I don't talk about that stuff, okay? And if I was to throw in a video on any of those three topics, it would throw off the messaging of my entire page, and my ads about business may accidentally run to someone who wants to see restaurant reviews, or my ads about productivity and increasing your productivity may accidentally run to someone who's actually looking for content about international travel because I had an international travel video on my page and now the algorithm is confused. So you want to make sure that your messaging is consistent and you have enough content there for the system to feed on. And this honestly is not just for paid ads. This also goes for organic too. Like if you have a hard time growing your page, it's probably because your messaging is too broad and you need to hone in. And I know people don't like the word niche and they're fighting I don't want to be a niche, I want to be a niche. A niche is not necessarily your subject matter. It could be your subject matter, but it could also be the person. It could also be your ideal client. So there's two ways to do a niche. You can go horizontal, I mean vertical, or you can go horizontal, either one. So if you don't want to be stuck to one topic, what you need to do is you need to clearly define who is the ideal viewer for my page. And that definition of whoever that ideal viewer is needs to be very, very specific. That is how you grow your page. Okay. It can still grow if you aren't specific and you don't have a niche, but it just takes a lot longer. So why would you not take the shortcut? Why would you not take the shortcut? Okay. The third thing you need to know if you want to make digital product sales daily is you need to have clear messaging. This kind of leads into that. You need to have clear messaging and you need to have good presentation. Now, this is going to look different across the different platforms. If you are on Instagram or YouTube, poor presentation literally means poor presentation. Like you have to have a visual. Like this right here, this is poor presentation. I'm in the bed. I didn't put in any effort into do this. But when I do my videos, my sit down videos, you can go to my page and you'll see it's me. I'm sitting down. I'm in front of the window in my living room. There's my bookcases in the back. Like I strategically did all of that. Okay. I strategically did all of that. So you want to make sure that you have good presentation. This is a live stream, so I really don't care. I really don't care. We're talking about making money right now. You know what I mean? But don't do as I say, not as I do. You want to have good presentation. And then when it comes to that's Instagram and YouTube because the visual is very important on Instagram and YouTube. TikTok, you can be a lot more relaxed. LinkedIn, there's not even a lot of video on LinkedIn. Most of it's writing. Facebook, same thing. You can be a little bit more relaxed. People are a little bit more authentic, so to say, and less put together on Facebook and TikTok, which I think is why a lot of people love TikTok, is because it's so organic and it's so authentic and natural. Like people just come as they are on TikTok. And I think that's why people love it. But over there, poor presentation would just be like if your lighting is bad or whatever. Like I'm in the bed right now and my background is literally my bed, my headboard, but I have lighting. Like my makeup is still done, my hair is still slightly laid, like that part is still together, so keep that in mind. And then unclear messaging is just not having like a clear articulation of what it is that you sell and how it's going to benefit somebody and what problem it solves. So you need to clearly be stating in all of your content where you're referencing your digital product, the one that you want to make daily sales from, you need to be very clear in that content and on the sales page, like on the checkout page for the actual product. What is on the inside of this? What problem is it solving? Who is it for? Like, what's the benefits? Who is it for? Okay. That needs to be on there. It needs to be clear. It needs to be straightforward. Okay. And the last thing you need if you want to make digital product sales daily online is you need to have your pricing strategy right. Okay. You need to have it right. The pricing of the digital product cannot be too low. It can also not be too high. There's literally a balance here. If you're a service provider and you have sold services before, and like if you've worked with paying clients already, then I would look at pricing my digital products in correlation to things that I've already sold. If you're completely new, I would pick a price on the lower end and work my way up based off of the traffic and based off of the conversion rate of your sales page. Now, this is getting a little bit deep, and this is why I highly recommend you get a coach or you have a strategy session or something so you know going into this what it is that you're looking for. But if you have a sales page, or a checkout page, even a plain checkout page for whatever your digital product is, and you have 100 people visit that page, and the conversion rate is less than 2%, that means that something is off, and it might be the price. It could be the price, it could be the copywriting, it could be your messaging. One of those three things. But if it's less than 2%, that's kind of where you start to get into the okay, something's not right here. All right. But it is possible for the digital product to be too expensive for what it is that you're offering, but it could also be too cheap because sometimes things are too cheap and people question the value of what it is that you're offering because it's too cheap. So you have to also take into account who is my ideal client. If you haven't made any sales, you want to take into account who's your ideal client, which is why if you haven't made any sales, you really don't need to go into this thing alone. Like you should really be doing a lot of deep research. And honestly, you don't even gotta do the deep research. You could just get a coaching session. Like I left it in the link in the description box. You can just book a coaching session and get all of your questions answered and skip all the research and save yourself hours and hours and hours of time. Like literally. Okay. So, those are the things you need if you want to make digital product sales daily. Like I said, check the description box below, and there is a link to book a session. I have sessions today. Well, if you book today and tomorrow, the session doesn't have to be today and tomorrow. It could be anytime for the remainder of December or January. But I've got mapping sessions available. So, what we do in a mapping session, a passive income mapping session, is we talk about what is your life experience. Let's come up with what type of digital product you can create. Name it. Let's talk about your content strategy, like mapping out literally everything that you need to do. And I'm cutting down on hours and hours of your research time and helping you make decisions right there on the call that are going to get you closer to your first digital product sales. Okay. So that's linked in the caption. I hope y'all have an amazing night. See you later.